the career and 80th birthday of Laszlo Orloci. He's going to give us a lecture of about 1 hour, and we are hopefully being joined. We have quite a few people here with us today, and we are being viewed live by 6 so far around various parts of the world. So, Laszlo, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Madhu, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about myself. I very rarely do that. I selected as the title of the talk, how did I become statistical ecologist? But before I say anything on the topic or give a more detailed a summary of what is going to be said about, what is going to be talked about, I have to tell that I appreciate the amount of work that has had to go into preparing this event. I would like to thank all of those who contributed time and know-how, but especially to my good friend, one-time PhD student, Madhu. Madhu has, I suppose, devoted a lot of time to this, to organize and to guide the event. And she did it with the usual skill and polish. I should mark this day down in my journal as a special day, not just because of the technical aspects of this event, but for other things as well. I entered, this is today, I entered the Gregorian August of my life. I hope September is waiting for me to come. But I feel I have done my work. And it is high time for me to hand the baton to a next generation of sprinters. In the normal flow of family life, a grandfather is supposed to tell the grandchildren what he was doing with his life. This is really the first opportunity for this to be done. My granddaughter, Ruth, and Catherine Orloci Goodison, and my daughter Martha are in the audience. So, Ruth and Catherine, this is what I've been doing over the past so many decades. Or at least part of it, a selected part of it. I plan the talk in 2 parts. I will give the first part now and keep the second part for the internet. We will upload it sometime. In the title for the first part is really, how did I become a statistical ecologist? This part tells my story in science up to 1968. It happened in that year at King's College in Cambridge, where I attended a discussion meeting of quantitative ecologists and numerical taxonomists, that I was introduced the first time as a statistical ecologist. So at that point, the first part will end. In the second part, I want to be much, much more substantial, to tell the story, how statistical ecology affected me, and how did I, what did I do to statistical ecology. I can confess to you right away that this was not an easy talk for me to write. I had several false starts before I decided to begin the story in the early years of my youth. It lengthens the story, but it puts into better perspective the turn of events that led me step by step to 1968. I grew up in a military family. We were moved from town to town, at least biannually. As a young boy, I loved the nomadic family life, but I had a big problem. And each time we moved to a new town, the problem became bigger. I did not adapt too well to the changing school environment. I was getting very poor marks. As a kid growing up on bases, I dreamed of myself a military career when I was 10 or 11, and I had the Field Marshal Rommel appropriately as my idol. My father was in the Panzer, an officer, it appealed to me. But doing these very poor marks, I had to realize very quickly that I have to change. And as I was changing about my dream of the future, I moved further and further away from the military career. My life was really started to turn around academically in 1948. I was already 16 at that time, way behind, not because of the poor mark. I always somehow managed to go through the year, but we lost 1 year for the war. The front moving across us or coming nearer. We were in Austria, Amstetten. And another year for the aftermath. So my first chance to decide what I want to make of my life came in 1947. My godfather, the good man Dolens Kaiser, a forest engineer himself, came to visit with us. And I'm quite sure my father briefed him about my miserable state and directionless. And probably he was the only man, my godfather, whom I listened to at that time. And he suggested to me that I may try a career in forestry. He would manage for me to take an entrance examination at a school that we call Forestry Gymnasium, G-I-M-A, A with the acute accent, Z-I-U-M. It's a high school, a technical high school. So I said that yes, I'm interested, and he asked me, and took the entrance examination. I succeeded, and the school admitted me in 1948. This is in Esztergom. Esztergom is a historic city in Hungary, on the Danube, just 40 or 50 kilometers upriver from Visegrad, where the Danube bends, entering the Hungarian lowland. It was the place János already told this in his comments just a few minutes ago. That's